The sound of sirens never scared him. They were his call to duty. He was the shielded knight of his daughter's bedtime stories, armed with axe and visor, charging homes burning in hellfire, battle cry louder than the sirens, but he was drowned here. He couldn't pull her from danger like he did the others. He'd never let a single person fall victim to the flames, but the ambulance had her, and its screams, infernal red and white, burned him worse the further they were from his skin. Josephine, his wildfire daughter, could not be saved with water or extinguisher, but in the absence of fire we drown. In the absence of fire, we drown. 16 specialists, 4 surgeries, and a shunt inside her skull couldn't keep the fluids from building. Since she was 5 years old, he came home to her headaches, midnight flames in her temple, flaring howls of agony and pleas of help and mercy to the knight who braved the dragon fire of her late-night torments with the medications from the doctor and a rag soaked in what little salvation he could drain from the faucet. It was all he could do to damper her pain. He was drowned here. In the same fluids that fed, the embers in her head felt like she could see him faltering, like she could feel her beams cracking, the walls bowing and breaking, all the papers and photographs turning to ash. She felt like she knew there was nothing he could do. And there wasn't. But in the absence of fire, we drown. In the absence of fire, we drown, so he drove. Staying as close to the searing of the ambulance sirens and his daughter as the gas pedal would permit, burning through red lights like they didn't exist, eyes fixed to the windows on the back of the ambulance, he saw the technicians moving. Imagined tubes and needles chewing her feeble body, wanted to hold her, wanted to say, "Daddy's here, Josie. It'll be all right," though he knew tonight could be her last, and his eyes were burning through the glass on the back of the ambulance, and his tires were screaming on the cement, and she could feel him faltering, and the walls were bowing and breaking, and the beams were cracking, and everything was burning, and everything was on fire, and the ambulance had stopped. He charged the hospital gurney, burning everything he touched. But her skin was cold, and her cheeks were wet, and everything was burning, and everything was on fire. But in the absence of fire, we drown.
Kermit Mageson, my friends, opening the slam.